The regret. Sorry about those videos last night. It's a fun night for those of you interested. They're good people. I'm glad to have them in as tenants. I'd like to do some more maths for you today. I'd like to demonstrate why I think PIVX is just fantastic buying. ChainCoin's had another great run, so it just proves the Masternode concept. But PIVX is really exciting, and it's because it has something called staking. Now, staking actually allows you to create a residual income without the need to purchase an entire node. As I was doing the maths for this, PIVX was at $1.64, which means you can literally start staking and earning interest, if you like, for $1.64 US. You're going to need some transaction fees to get in, and $1.64 is not really a good amount. If that's all you've got, probably don't start investing yet. I usually recommend like at least $50 to get involved, just because otherwise the transaction fees really eat you up, and there's a lot of ground to make up before you're into profit. But for the mum and dad investors out there, and for the, I don't have kids, and I laugh because I haven't had a girlfriend in 3.5 years either, so not likely to have kids soon. But if you're looking long term to create, cumulative wealth, as a lot of you know, that's my strategy. PIVX is awesome, like next level awesome, and I'll give you a few reasons. Yes, it doesn't return the sort of returns that running a node in ChainCoin will return you, but luckily I've got nodes there, so I'm diversifying, and I can strongly recommend that for anyone who's getting into investing in general and investing in the crypto economy. Putting all your eggs in one basket is never a good idea, in my opinion. So PIVX, why is it so good? Staking. Now, if we just do rough figures, it returns you about 4.8% per year, depending on how many coins you're holding, that sort of thing. So basically the way it works is kind of like a lottery ticket where everyone wins eventually. That's literally how it is. So the more lotto tickets you hold, the more often you will win. But essentially it just goes through and draws them at random who's going to get the reward. Now, if you go onto, I found a really cool site thanks to the PIVX development team on the Slack group. They're really, really helpful. Like I was on there for 5 minutes and they answered all my questions. I spoke to the marketing team. I spoke to, the community there. It's a really cool little Slack community. So honestly, if you're looking for those answers to your questions, these guys are super helpful. I would jump onto the PIVX Slack group and get involved because it's awesome. Now, there's this. They put me on this this website, and it's PIVX, PIVX .cryptonode.co, and if you actually go to that site, it's a rewards calculator, and it actually tells you the average number of days you're going to have to wait for a reward, and the reward is 2.21 PIVX for those interested. Now, if I just did a quick calculation for those of you playing with a bit more money, and if we use the last price I saw on ChainCoin as an example, so if you've got 3,000, I think it was, let's just call it 3,500 US dollars, that means you're actually going to be able to buy about, let's just call it roughly 2,000 PIVX. So if I put 2,000 PIVX into here, it means that you're going to be getting a reward of 2.21 PIVX every 7 days. And for those of you who know about compounding interest and accumulation, you'll understand why that's a pretty good investment as well. Look, I do like ChainCoin as well. I must admit that I'm actually heavily into both of them. So this is not so much of a comparison between the two as it is a reason why PIVX is also awesome stuff. Now, PIVX have got a great development team. I actually was lucky enough to stumble across one of their marketing team over a month ago when I first started on Steemit, and the guy said that the team there is awesome. Now, this was an ex-employee. How often do you get an ex-employee saying how good the development team is? Now, this guy was in marketing, and he said he'd been working for a very cheap wage because he believed in the company and he believed in the idea. And for those of you who don't believe me, go and research my Steemit and go and have a look at the comments. I can't edit that stuff 30 days after it's happened. So go and have a look at it if you don't believe me. There's a guy who's made contact. We had a bit of a chat when I had 7 followers on Steemit. So no one's probably seen it, but he's ex-marketing team. And he loves the team there. He said they're a great bunch of team. He said he just couldn't afford to basically work for free or very little money Even though he believes in the idea, he's still living in the real world. And so he's had to go out and find other work, which is understandable. But the point is that rather than spend the extra money on keeping this guy who's obviously very good at marketing, they said, no, you know what, we appreciate it and we're sorry, but we're going to keep putting the money into the development of our coin. That's brilliant to me. You know, we'll worry about marketing later because word of mouth, when people like fish find this coin, is going to get out there anyway. So, look, I know I'm not a big player in the YouTube game, but I've done alright in the crypto economy. So, look, I'm not a financial advisor. I say that again and again. Matter of fact, for the maths I'm about to do, I think I only just passed high school maths. I can't even remember. I wasn't paying attention as usual. So, look, this is, anyone's happy to, you know, this is a rough formula. I believe the maths is fairly solid. I haven't gone down to decimal places and that, guys. I'm giving the mum and dad investors and the everyday Joes like me a chance to understand and get into the crypto economy with confidence. So if you are a supporter of the crypto economy and my maths is off by 0.275, can we not even bother with that? Because that's the sort of thing that shakes confidence. And if we're out by $1 or $2 over 5 years, or even $100 with the maths I'm showing you, it doesn't matter. The people are still going to make money, and that's what we're trying to get them to do. Good long-term investments better than bank returns. That's my goal, because that's the best thing I can, like, honestly say someone 100% guarantee. And as we saw in Cyprus, it's not even 100% guarantee with government-backed fiats. So I like PIVX, and I want to show you some maths on why I like that. Now, for most mum and dad investors, you might have a small budget of $500, even smaller, of $50. And you might have a weekly budget where you'd like to accumulate PIVX. And I can certainly teach you to do that and to buy it in the dips and put in a $50 weekly budget and just watch it grow over time. And the great thing is PIVX has staking. Now, staking allows you to run interest as soon as you got one coin. So I just want to show you the maths behind that quickly. What I did is I actually assumed that the mum and dad, and you can scale this down. If you've got $50, that's fine. But 50 to 100 is a really nice starting point. And you can work on a weekly, monthly budget, whatever you can afford, but you never put in more than you can afford. Golden rule. So we're starting on the 18th of July, 2017 today, and we're starting with a budget of $500 US. Now, PIVX is cheap. It's taken a run up since I suggested buy orders yesterday, but it's still cheap at $1.64, which is when I did the math, however you'd like to say it. So we're starting today on the 18th of July, and we're starting with a budget of $500. Now that buys us, I just want round numbers to start with, that buys us 300 PIVX for $492. So we've just picked up on 18th of July, 300 PIVX. So, PIVX, and on for, well, it's $500 anyway. So that's our initial investment there of $500, and this is for little Bazar who's going to go to school in 5 years. You know, he's got 5 years till high school or till college or university or whatever you want to say, and we want to send a little champ to, we want to spend a bit more and send to one of the higher regarded, let's say. I don't necessarily believe that more expensive education is better, but anyway, let's say one of the higher regarded universities or tertiary education institutions. Anyway, so we're saving up for that. So we've chucked in $500 because that's what we can afford safely, and we've started on the 18th of July. Now the great thing is the rewards system. I'll just type it into the actual rewards calculator that I told you about there. So we picked up 300 PIVX, and the rewards calculator tells me that on average, in 46.66 days, I'm going to receive 2.21 PIVX as my interest, my dividends, my reward. However you want it, it's the same thing. However you want to say it. Cops are back. Always hunting for fishy. Must be those MC fish wraps I'm doing. Anyway, back to the maths. So basically what that means is you're accumulating an extra 2.21 PIVX every 46.6 days. But of course, as I explained, this is a lottery. So the more tickets you have, the more often you're going to win. So what you need to do to create this formula yourself at home is go into the rewards calculator, and your next step would be, okay, well, after 46.6 days, I'm now at 302 0.21. Now this rewards calculator only lets you do whole numbers, and that actually brings it down to 46.35 days until I get my reward. Now that doesn't seem like a massive jump, but when you do that over and over and over again, like I run out the formula over 3 years, and by the third year, we're actually getting down to getting that 2.21 PIVX reward, if you like, for just staking. Remember, we don't even have to run a full node, but we're actually down to 39 days. So we're getting it quicker and quicker and quicker. Now this is all just assuming that the PIVX price of $1.64 never increases. And we've already seen it as high as $2.80, I think. So I'm going to show you a little bit about there. So after 1 year, we're sitting on, let me just have a look here. So the 19th of the 7th, so just 1 year and 1 day, 2018, we're sitting on 317.68 PIVX. So we bought 300, we haven't put any extra money in at this point, and this formula assumes that we never put any extra money in. You can always scale it out for increasing your buy-in every week or whatever you're going to do. But at the end of that, we're at 317, so we've made 17 extra PIVX in 1 year. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. You're beating bank interest, and if the share price of PIVX goes up, then you're really doing well. And you know, even Max himself from Hong Coins, like, he's one of the most respected guys in the crypto economy, and he loves ChainCoin, and he still says PIVX is going to go to $50 or $20 a share one day, a coin one day. So if you believe that, which I certainly do, I think it has the potential to, you're not only making the extra coins, you're making massive increases on the actual coin price itself. So huge gains. But for the moment, for this equation, I've assumed that the share price won't move at all. It'll stay the same. Okay, so that's on the 19th of July in 2018. So let's just scale it out a bit and let's go through to 2019 around the same time of year. So we'll go to the 10th of the 8th, it's 10th of August because it gets confusing. We all do the dates differently. So the 10th of August 2019, it's 337 PIVX now. This is still with the initial investment. It's just sitting there, earning its interest, earning its dividends. But by the time we get to year 3 and around this time in 2020, we're actually up to 357.46 PIVX. And if the price was to stay the same at $1.64, so by year 3, sorry, I'll just check the numbers. We're up to 357.46. And we're going to assume a constant or a set price for the share, so it doesn't move over the next 3 years, which I think is unlikely. I think it's likely to go up considerably, but let's be conservative. So if we do 357, 46 times 1.64, we actually get a figure of in US dollar terms. Remember, you started with $500 bucks, and in 3 years you've made that into $586. Now remember, that's assuming that the share price doesn't move at all. Now what I've done is I've calculated in a modest growth target, considering we've been at $2.80 a share in the last month, and I don't see it as it was overbought for the stage of development potentially, but not for the potential of this coin. No way. So for the long time hodlers on this one, I actually assumed the growth up to $1.968. I think that was 20% that I factored in there. Let me just double check that. Yes, it is. So I factored in 20% growth. That's pretty modest in the share price itself over 3 years. So you've got the growth in the share price and the growth in the number of coins you're holding through staking. And what that actually gets you out to in 3 years is your $500 just became with the share price at $1.1968. So I'm sorry, I'm running out of room, but at 1.968 equals, and so I'm not going to do all the equations because I'm running out of room, but $703 after 3 years. 40% on your money. Wow. Okay, so it's actually 703 and 48 with a modest 20% gain. So if you do like PIVX, and I can't promise PIVX will work, I'm just doing my research. I know I've been able to make contact with the development team. They're working hard. I know I've been able to make contact with an Australian guy who's pretty excited to hear from me. There's not many of us crypto fans in Aussie yet. So yeah, I love the community over there on their Slack channel. I love the numbers that I'm seeing. As a conservative long-term investor who does have a gamble from now and then on shares and stocks, not on anything stupid anymore. Used to. So yeah, $703 return on my $500 for just sitting it there for 3 years, and that's if it only goes up 20%. What if it does get to that $50 a coin? I haven't done the maths on it yet, but it'd be some serious money. So look, I don't want to drive hype, and that's why I'm saying, please, pokey money. If you're a smoker, give up smoking and put your $25, $30. Look, I can't speak. I've been known to have the old one myself, but are we being serious? $30 on smokes, and some people are smoking 2 packets, 3 packets. That's $90 a week. $90 a week. I can do the figures on giving up smoking and going into PIVX. Maybe that's a good idea. Or if you're a gambler, that this is an opportunity for you to have a real incentive to beat those bad habits, because honestly, you're just throwing money away, killing yourself anyway, or hurting yourself and those around you. So if you've got any of those destructive habits, to me, I'm not a financial advisor, but I've had some experience with that stuff myself, and I can tell you this is a better spend of your money. Much, much better. Even if you lose it all, at least you're not hurting people in the process. So for anyone out there who has experienced that, no judgment, because I certainly have myself, but please consider changing your ways. You'll be happier for it, and financially, which shouldn't be your overall incentive anyway, but if it is, financially you're going to be happier for it too, provided PIVX does well. And again, I'm offering my time to PIVX because I think they're a fantastic company. I've got a little bit of extra time at the moment. I've had the last 3.5 years off work, so I am looking for the next project, and PIVX they've really welcomed me with open arms. So I certainly hope I can bring you some more good figures like this that show you the rewards of investing in PIVX long term. And for those of you who are concerned about development teams and that, get over to PIVX Slack channel, have a chat to them yourself. They literally, I don't want to say they can do this every time because I don't know if that's true, but 5 minutes less I was answered in, I'm not sure, by 3 different people. So I love that. Like, you guys know I'm huge on customer service, so for me that was awesome. And I've picked up some more PIVX this morning, and I am thinking about picking up even more while this video loads, because it takes about 3 hours. And to be fair, all this information is out there for you to research for yourself. So if I get it cheaper than you, not my problem. I'm just joking around, guys. But by the way, on the surf front, the northerlies kind of from yesterday has just like chopped it down a little bit. There's not much around, which is, I still got to go out for a paddle. I got to make a head clear. Did you see that wrap last night? It was ridiculous. Seriously, it's so bad. It's the morning after. It's like walk of shame for a YouTuber. So sorry about that, but I'll keep the wraps coming, just in a sober state of mind. But yeah, Jibber and Millie were really fun, so stoked to have them in. And I'm going to go for a surf and stop blabbing. Good maths, good company. Please make your own decisions and only invest what you can afford to lose. Thanks guys. Beach Bum Investor, fish out.